Hi guys. So today I'm gonna pull some cards on Dulos. I've actually wanted to do this for a few days. I just haven't got to it. I'm actually really tired, so hopefully I can get what I need to get. But it was one of those things like it wasn't leaving me alone. So for some reason, I don't know if it's because the trial's out right now or whatnot. All of her readings were really, really confusing in regards to where her body is and what happened. I know a couple were Autowrites, and I wasn't truly, you know, now that I know how my Autowrites work, they were kind of all over the place. I did a live reading, which now we know live readings aren't good. So I might try to revisit this. I don't know because it seems like, I don't know, what I'm seeing now is kind of weird. Um, like as I'm seeing it, and I've never seen it before, so it's a little confusing. Um, but so I pulled the cards that would fit here. I'm gonna have to put them down and then pull other cards because I don't have enough room because I did the where the location of the body is. So again, I don't know. I may revisit this, I may not. It just depends. I feel a pull to do cards on them. My cards have been a little bit more accurate than my readings lately. They've actually been good as far as getting me to open up a little bit, understand a little bit. They've been giving extra information on stuff and a new perception. And they've actually, I feel like, again, have been really accurate. They were really accurate on Matt and Savannah's case. Like, now that everything's happened, they make so much sense. But cards are new to me. I'm still learning to see how they flow and go together. And since we kind of know who's involved in this, allegedly, they make a lot of sense right now. So I may perceive the cards wrong. I may misperceive the cards wrong. Any kind of visions I get, I will tell you. This is for entertainment purposes only. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. And again, this is a learning thing for me. So hopefully it's accurate. Um, and like I said, I don't remember anything I really got in any of the other readings at all because I haven't. It's been a while since I did it. But I know that Jennifer is usually strong. So I feel a little out of it already. There's only one card that's not really making a lot of sense to me. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to revisit it. I did watch the movie like I think it was like last year sometime. Because I thought I was done with it. So this is really weird what I'm getting for the body though, or what the cards are getting for very odd. And again, what I'm seeing in my mind, which I'll get to when I get there. So, I don't know. Anyways, so I try to perceive the cards best way that I can. And we'll see how this goes. All right. So, I don't get a lot of intuitive hits with cards, but sometimes I do. And again, I feel a little off all of a sudden. I felt fine a minute ago, but I'm getting a little hot. I feel a little high. So I know Jennifer's energy is really strong. Hopefully she'll touch the cat balls for me. So that we can hold on a second. I got an issue with my camera once. Okay, sorry about that. I had to unplug it and plug it back in for some reason. All right. So for the kind of what happened situations, kind of eerily accurate. So you have the trapped card. I feel like Jen was trapped in a situation, and I feel like regardless of even if he was out of the house, she still felt trapped. So I don't know again if he was like making threats, being an a-hole. Regardless, she was trapped in this situation, in my opinion. And I feel like when this happened to her, she was also trapped, like she couldn't get away. So she was very much stuck. Then we have the murder suicide card. Unaliving. I don't know what you're allowed to say. So that makes sense because even though he committed, and even though he took himself out later on, it still qualifies because he did allegedly unalive her and then took his own life. So that was the eerily accurate thing. This part I don't understand the trafficking card. Now it makes me wonder, and I can take trafficking like it's all how we perceive it, how the cards fall. Sometimes the cards have multiple meanings, but you can take this as trafficking or any other kind of trafficking, money trafficking. I don't know. I don't think that she was being trafficked, obviously, but I'm just wondering if he was in some shady stuff. That's the card that didn't kind of make sense to me, but that's how I want to take it. I don't know if there's a knife involved, but that's the card I pulled. And I want to know if he was actually on D's or poison, or if he ever tried to do that to her at some point. And we have the strangulation card. Sometimes in the midst of things happening, someone, has the hands around the throat. That doesn't mean it's necessarily how eventually her life was taken, but there's a strangulation card, and I feel that's accurate. So, this is kind of interesting. So we have the escaped and this card together, the unaliving card. Now, it kind of makes me wonder if, he escaped the situation by unaliving himself. It's kind of interesting how these cards pulled up to mention him as well, because I guess he, it makes sense because he's around the situation. But it's like he escaped everything by unaliving. That's how I take those two cards. So I don't take the accident as it was an accident. I don't think he had the intention of doing it. It wasn't really planned out, you know what I mean? It comes across as just being a spur of the moment, something that happens. So that's how I take that. I feel again, she was unconscious. I feel she was unconscious when the unaliving actually happened. And then there's a weapon used of some sort. I feel again, the hand, fist, etc., that was used. And then we have the word card. So, makes sense. So that makes sense for Jen. And that situation. So now, of course, we have who is involved. I like to pull these for validation, okay? So they make total sense, honestly. So we have the male card. Obviously, he's a male. Okay, we have rival card. There was some sort of rival. They were going through divorce. They weren't getting along. I don't know where the false person card comes in, really, unless he tried to blame a false person. And the grandparent card doesn't necessarily mean they're a grandparent. Sometimes it can mean just an older male, because there's not an older male card. That's what I tend to pull for older male. Royalty, as in they have money, or he worked, he has a job. You know what I mean? I pull that a lot for people with businesses, things like that. So I don't know if he was into some shady shiznick, and if he was involved in any type of organized crime. However, I can also take this card as the crime was organized. It might have been sloppy, but they still haven't found her. So in a way, there was some organization to it. So, and then obviously a spouse partner. That was family. And I always get the assassination card when someone's taken out. It doesn't necessarily mean it's paid to do. It's just someone's taken out. And he came across as a good guy. He lied to everybody, made everybody think he was a good guy. But in all honesty, he was a thief, and he was a con man. We all know that he more than likely wanted her for her money. And then we have the bloodline. It's husband. Terrorism. He was a terrorist to her a lot of the time. We have the devil card, because that's how all guys are portrayed in this. Whenever I pull this card, that just, they usually comes up with bad guys. And then we have the female. So we know there's a female involved, even if it's just a cover-up or she knew what was going on. That's the thing that's going on now. So I thought that was interesting. We have the spouse card, because it was the spouse, allegedly. And we have the acquaintance card. I don't know if Jen actually knew her or not, but you can take it as the spouse wasn't no longer living in the house, so they were I don't know. Can't really take it that way, I guess. But the acquaintance, I don't know if she knew this other lady. It could have been an acquaintance of hers. I don't really know. So, and then we have one person. I think he was the only one that did it, but she knows she's like an accomplice after the fact. That's the way that I feel when it comes in. So where her body is, or where her remains are, this is really, really, really weird. I don't think he had the chance to like dismember her or anything like that. I'd always wondered because I tend to get different areas. Now, whenever I describe an area, it can be what's around, what's by, what's in the area. So what's interesting in this one is I keep seeing with these cards, and I'll tell you what the cards are in a minute, I keep seeing her in plastic wrapped up. You know how like when a body is wrapped up in plastic really tight and how it looks like on movies and stuff, like that's what I keep seeing over and over. And it's weird because I've never seen that before. But wasn't he like a contractor or something like that? Because this is really odd, this next part I'm getting, like these cards and how I'm taking them. And I don't know if I'm perceiving them right, but I'm just going to tell you what the cards say. So we have road. There's a road nearby. We have water supply. Some kind of water supply nearby. Some kind of water nearby where there would be a boat or whatnot. I know that like where her car was. So some of this could be where her car was. You know, and I don't know if they had a few days. I hear 3. I wonder if they had like 3 days. I don't know. But it would be, I know her car was near like a park, which is my last name, which is really weird. That was by water and there was boats and stuff. So, you know, you could take as sometimes like evidence. This will come up with evidence, but I had often wondered if she wasn't very far from that car, but that kind of doesn't make sense. So I don't know. I'll get to it, but we have mountains, which that whole area is kind of, there's mountains in the background. I always pull mountains card. I don't know why. Frozen. Neighborhood. River. Lost, which makes sense. She hasn't been found. This is what confused me because we have an outside card, but the rest of these are all like, I don't know, outside. And then we have, I don't know if they're motel, hotel in the area. I don't know. These are the weird cards. Okay. So we have underground. We have hollow earth. We have tunnel. We have bones, which is basically how I was seeing the plastic, kind of. Again, we have the underground card. We have inside card. So this is what's tripping me out a little bit. So inside would mean like inside a residence, inside a house, inside something like that. Proper burial would mean that she's like buried in something, in his opinion, like stored. I feel like maybe she was stored for a while, or this is a place where you could store. It's weird because I had a dream a while ago that like she was in a freezer somewhere. That was such a weird dream. And we got the frozen card a couple times. I don't know if that's what it meant, but it's kind of odd. But it's like stored at the home. And then we have outside. And then we have dump. But see, that could be like the evidence because he did dump evidence outside in trash cans and stuff like that. Because then we got buried again. Because, you know, it talks about his unaliving over here too. So this could also be evidence as well. But this is where it gets a little like, what the hell? Because I just wonder if he was working on a home in the mountain that was like more mountainous, but like by water. Because I got the mountain card twice. Okay. Then there's water card twice. There's a river card, a water card twice. There's frozen twice. So frozen could be like where it's cold, or maybe she was frozen for a little bit. Or maybe if she's in the ground, she's frozen. Because then we have frozen, we have mountains, which I always get mountains in her reading. I don't know. Water, home, again, there's 2 home cards. Basement, random area, and we know that she was taken in a vehicle, or at least evidence was. So what's throwing me, and what I'm wondering about, is if he was building any properties. Like, okay, so was he working on properties? Did he have a house that was vacant that he was working on? Or she might be in the basement underneath some concrete. Because the weird thing is seeing her in the plastic. If he was, I think he was a contractor, right? Or he worked on houses or did something like that, flipped houses, something of that nature, right? If I remember right. So wouldn't he have access to, I got 2 home cards here. So she's either buried on the property of one of the homes, or what I keep seeing, and the way that the thing I keep seeing that keeps repeating on me is her wrapped in plastic. And like, but it's like, you know how on those movies when you see a body like in a wall or in the ground underneath concrete and they're wrapped in plastic? That's how I keep seeing it. So I'm just wondering if he didn't, which is weird because I've never gotten that before. But I notice I get a lot of new stuff with the cards, and maybe that's why Spirit wants me to do this. This is their idea to start implementing cards, but there's a reason they have me do everything. I'm just wondering if he has or was working on a house that he would get to really quickly, but I keep getting 3 days. Didn't he have some time? Didn't he have some time to do something like this? Now listen, he's a contractor. He probably already has, or if he does that kind of work, probably already has like a little bit of cement or a little bit of water, probably already has the tools for that. Or was he building a house? Because it would be like, obviously it's somewhere that's more mountainous, or there's mountains in the background. Then there we have the river or water that's really close by. But the thing is the basement, the underground, the tunnels, the buried, the inside. Like, it just makes me wonder. The random area. Okay, so the reason why we got the random area in the vehicle, because the vehicle was left in a random area. So I mean, she was also taken in a vehicle, but I just saw this. So the vehicle was in a random area. It was at the park, like with my last name. So that's why this card's coming. So that's what I mean. Like, this could be some of this could be evidence. Like, did he have a trash can outside of a hotel that he dumped? Because that could be that part. That could be because the dumped is also the evidence, possibly. Because it seems like I'm pulling evidence in here as well as like stuff about him, like the unaliving part. So that, we get cards that are around the case. So yes, her vehicle was dumped in a random area. And then I'm just wondering if one of the trash cans he went to was outside a hotel. And if the dump is for like him dumping stuff in the trash, or he tried to clean up or whatever. It's weird because it says buried underground inside proper burial. And then the thing is I pulled one more card. I said I need one more card of these cards, and that's when I pulled this home card. So that's the one card that came up when I decided to pull any more of that. So we got 2 home cards, and we got a neighborhood. So what house was he freaking working on? Or what house was vacant that he could have put her like in the basement, under concrete, in a wall, something like that? It feels like it's more like in concrete, underground, because that would account for like the tunnel, the hollow earth, the underground. Like, that's stuff that all feels like it would be under a house or something like that. Because I feel like at the time, like, maybe he didn't think he was gonna do the unaliving to himself. So he was trying to make sure she was somewhere where she wasn't gonna be found. You always need, I mean, they always need a warrant to search any of these places. I don't know if they searched all of these houses or not. I think the girl may know a little bit more of where Jen may be. But I pulled so the trafficking card, going back to the trafficking card, I kept pulling card, like I pulled a couple times and I always got the traffic card. But I always got the other cards too. But I kept pulling because the trafficking didn't make sense to me. I don't mean, but we don't know what the dude was into, really. He's like a con man, right? So that's what I keep wondering, because it's like all of these are showing to like inside a home and stored. Like stored would be, maybe he did store her for a minute, or maybe he stored her. Maybe it's like I don't know. I'd be curious wherever he was working on. Was he working on a house that wasn't completely finished? I think he was. I think he was working on a house that wasn't completely finished, not necessarily theirs, but other people's. Because I keep getting a reference to like the movies, when people find like bodies like inside their yard, inside their wall, inside their uh, basement. It's like that. And if you go underground, inside, proper burial, home, basement. And we already know the vehicle's in the random area, so we know that that's not part of the body part. It was cool that they pulled up that way, so now I can. It took me a minute to see that. And I just be curious, was one of the trash cans like outside a motel? Like, I guess he went to like 30 of them or something. That I do know. I try not to know anything, but there's some things you just can't not know. But in neighborhood, mountains. So is it more of a mountainous place, or is there mountain? I know that there's mountains all around there, right? On the outskirts. So that could just be that too. So I don't know. I just kind of take it as I'd be curious as to have they looked at the house that he was working at the time, or any of the house he was working on at the time. I think he was working on some houses, if I remember right. Because what I keep seeing is like also is like a house. Okay, when a house isn't fully done, it has, and it's got the framing and they have the plastic up that blows. I keep seeing that. So it would be a house that wasn't like finished, that was in the process of being worked on. So it wouldn't have been their house. It would be a house that like he was working on. Because I keep seeing that. She's showing me, or I'm seeing, like how when someone's building a house or working on a house and there's just the framing and then you have the plastic blowing and all that, like it's not done. I keep seeing that. So things can be symbolic, not always literal, but I'm taking it as a place he was building on. And I was saying, as I was pulling these cards, I was like, watch it be something simple, and I've tried to make it difficult this whole time. Because, again, with Autowrites, I kind of go everywhere. Locations are super hard, because I see things that you pass or on the way or whatever. I wish I could just point to a map sometimes and be like, oh yeah, that's it. But see, even the boat, like, that can go where the vehicle was, because it was by water. There was water boats there. And I really thought I was going to pull an underwater card. But you know what? I've never gone water with her. I don't think. Ever. But I just find this very odd, because there sometimes, depending on how you take it, there's I don't know, tunnel. Hollow Earth. I don't know. That's just kind of what I'm seeing. And I've got 2 home cards here. Underground, inside, basement, buried. And we have dumped outside, but that, again, that could be all the trash he took. I don't know. That's just how I'm taking the location. I mean, because she's showing me, or I'm seeing wrapped in plastic, in like I said, what those. I'm getting reminded of like movies like that. So I don't know. I wonder if they've ever checked that. I know they need a warrant. I don't know where they've searched. I'd just be curious. I think she kind of knows a little bit of inside information, and she might make a deal. She might make a deal. I mean, I don't know why she hasn't already, but she might not know pertinent, like exactly where she is, but she might have like kind of an idea. I don't know. Because did he call her when he was like taking stuff to the trash or something? And there's a phone call I keep getting, like between these two, where like he's panicking, like I did this and this is what's going on, which I never got that before, but I'm getting it now. And I feel like he was driving and like out, like probably getting rid of evidence at this time, but there's a reference to that. So I don't know if that happened or not. All right, I gotta pause this and pull the rest of the cards because I didn't have. Okay, so we have work, which is interesting. Not really sure why that card's coming in, but I know that I think maybe she was cutting him off and he needed money for the work he was doing. There's some kind of that kind of feeling. There is DNA, which we have a witness, which we do have a witness. She's in court right now, allegedly. It's about power. They also have digital evidence. This was revenge for a lot of different things. Perversion, he still may have loved her in some way or was attracted to her. What the warning sign is, but maybe there was a warning somewhere that she didn't, or nobody took kind of serious. Marriage, wedding, they were married. Confession, I mean, basically by unaliving yourself, it's a confession. But there may be some more that she's going to confess, and there may be more truth that comes out in the court. But they did break up, and dude was in debt, and he was dating somebody else. And I think somebody had maybe a feeling, maybe Jen had a feeling about unseen danger. Some kind of secret, and that might have been maybe there was an affair beforehand or some other sort of secret. But gaslighting always took place. Emotionally abusive, lies. Jen was really loyal. And this could be also like the witness is kind of loyal in a way, but there's some loyalty going on here. Demonic possession. Stalking. He probably was stalking her in one way, shape, or form. Evidence. Manipulating, which is basically the same as gaslighting. Jen was happy for, I think she was trying to get back to herself and be happy that they were broken up, and he didn't like that. But there was an affair, or many affairs. I feel like there was affairs going on during definitely surveillance. And jealousy. I do feel like there was jealousy over money too, but there's also some other jealousy going on here. I think that he was very jealous of a lot of different things surrounding Jen. But Jennifer, she felt free from the drama. The freedom card, the drama card, and the healing card. She was trying to heal from it. Life insurance. So that could be any form of money. I don't know if he was left anything or if anybody had life insurance. Intoxication, someone that drinks a lot or was drinking at the time, but I feel like he drank. Fear, I think Jennifer lived in fear for a while. Money all around this. Jen was really well off, and I feel like that was part of the reason why he was with her, and maybe even part of the reason he did this. Well, there's some top secret stuff there. I don't know if by firing him with the breakup, I don't know if he lost his job or quit. I don't know. I don't know where this comes in at. You can take this as also like a breakup, like fired from a relationship. But also if the money was cut off, then he wouldn't have been able to work anymore. So it makes me wonder. Control is a very controlling person. And explosive. There was something explosive that happened. Explosive argument. Explosive. Okay, then we have FBI. I don't know if they were involved or not. Government involvement. On the run, which he's not anymore, but he was for some point. Evidence. Break-in, which I feel because I don't feel like she let him in. And they have footprints there. Phone. Phone's important. Every time I get the phone, there's gonna be something. We got digital evidence too. Spy. So that can come across as like he was spying on her or he planned to go over there. I don't know if he planned for everything to happen that did. Maybe he thought about it at times because of the accident card. Like it's almost like it happened in the heat of the moment, but he probably went over there to talk to her. But I think he planned to a certain point, but not all the way. Like I don't think he planned to actually go there and unalive her, although he may have thought about it. I think maybe he planned to unalive her a different way because this felt very sloppy in the way that it just like I grab something and I do it in the heat of the moment and I clean up and then I try to take care of stuff. You know what I mean? But it might have been planned in a different sort of way, like I planned to go over there, or he may have planned it a different time, like a different way, and it happened sooner than what it's supposed to. So we have a witness may not be fully disclosing all of the facts, so that can be the person on trial now, allegedly. We have details leading up to the murder may be worth investigating. The day of the murder, I'm sure they've done that. Killer had an argument or disagreement with the victim, which I really feel like this was heat of the moment, explosive argument. That's how it happened. He went to her house, he confronted her, they had a fight, and they went from there. There was a motive for committing the crime, also money. It shows money down here. So I feel like money was like a major thing in committing it because I feel like she was cutting him off or he was going to lose a lot in the divorce, yada, yada, yada. And maybe I keep wondering if there was something with his work that like he wouldn't have been able to finish because of the lack of money. It's almost like that comes across as well, like because the work card's here and fired. So it makes me wonder if like he was going to lose work because he didn't have the money to finish it. Like it's almost like I don't know if these were investment properties or whatever, but I feel like he manipulated her for so long, abused her for so long, and I think that he really didn't think she was going to leave him and all of that. And I think when she did, it was sort of a shock and surprise. But then the money ran out. I think there came a point where she wasn't going to give him any money. Like he wasn't that great of a business person, and I feel like he didn't really make a lot of his own money at a certain point. Like it's almost like he started losing money, and I think she was like, no more, I'm not gonna help you out anymore. Because I wonder if like she helped invest in his business. Like I don't know any of this stuff, so this is kind of what I'm getting. If like maybe she sort of helped him with his business or helped him build his business, and then it started failing, and because she was cutting him off and also cutting off the relationship and divorcing him, that he wasn't going to be able to get money anymore. He was going to be able to put it into his investment properties, into his work, whatever it may be. Because I mean, someone can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but didn't his work have something to do with properties? Wasn't it like his own business? So by her like cutting him off, like it screwed with his work. And that might be another reason why, like, maybe he put her where he put her. Like a big F you. I hate to say that. Don't take me the wrong way. It's not me. I'm just saying it might have been that's what his thoughts were. Like a big F you. If you think about it. Because it might almost be like, for one, he didn't want her found. Because again, I don't think he thought he was going to unalive himself. He just didn't want to get caught. And I feel like people go where they're familiar. And who's going to look in a place like that? You know what I mean? Like, I keep getting that, and I think I got a property at another point in one of the readings. But I thought maybe it was their other house, but I wasn't aware that he was working on a place. I mean, the way it's coming across is that he had like an unfinished home. Like that's the way I'm taking it. Like there's an unfinished home somewhere. And he wasn't gonna be able to finish the home. I don't know. You guys can validate that in the comments. Please, good comments. Please don't be jerks, because I'll just mute people. I'm not dealing with it. I try to do this for all the right reasons. So yeah, that's the way that I take it. I feel like he was really manipulative. He was a narcissist. He was one of those guys that like they love bomb you, and then once they're in, they just screw you any way that they can. It's like that. And it's like I feel like he was also maybe the trafficking card was like he was taking money from her and she wasn't truly aware of it. Because like I don't think I have a card for money for that, but it seems like money surrounds this, like greed surrounds this, and it's very possible that like he was trafficking money from her. Like I kind of can take it like that. You know what I mean? Like he was stealing from her. Maybe she wasn't aware of it. Like that kind of comes in a little bit. Because I think like, and maybe she knew about the missing money. Maybe that's what. Maybe it kind of comes across because I keep hearing arguing. So it's almost like he goes there to confront her, possibly about this divorce, the kids, and something to do with money. Like he needs money for the work. He needs money to finish this. And it's like she says no, but there's an argument that takes place before, and then he just like loses it on her. Like that's the way that it comes across. But there was definitely because even the cards back that up. But I felt like that anyways. Um, like I think I felt like that before. It's kind of weird how they make these letters bigger. I was just looking at that. So that's that's the way that it comes across. Um, that there was some like he was upset about something. I really do feel like money was a big part of it. Money was a big factor because I feel like that's one of the reasons. Like it's almost like he conned his way into her life for that because Jennifer had money and he didn't. He was almost like a con man. And I think people tried to, I don't know if people tried to warn her about him or something, and she didn't listen. Like we all get blinded by love, you know. We always want to think that someone's going to love us and not take from us, but it's like she was very blinded by him, and he was good at manipulating, he was good at gaslighting, he was good at pretending to be somebody that he wasn't. And I feel like the marriage started to fall apart at some point when she like realized this and he started having affairs and things like that. Like, I'm just telling you guys what's coming to me. But I really would, if I was the police, if they haven't already checked it, I would check a property or a house that he was working on because that's what's coming in. I'm not seeing. It's weird because I'm not seeing anything else I saw before, but I got this when I pulled in the cards. So it's like I channeled it off the cards like I did with Dylan's. So I was hoping she'd freaking make the balls go off. I think they're on. I hope they're on. Oh, no wonder. They turn them off. Well, that was on. Well, they were on. I think I left them on from the last reading. But I was hoping she was gonna validate with one of those balls. Cause I keep getting this. I just keep getting the repeated image, and I've never gotten that before. I've never gotten inside a property or anything like that. I've gotten a property, but I thought maybe it was theirs because I think they had like multiple homes and stuff like that. So that's why I was kind of wondering. But this seems like a work property because I feel like this is almost like a big yeah. I don't know. He wasn't really smart about it. It's almost like after it happened, he panicked. I don't even think he was thinking about surveillance and cameras or anything like that catching him. And I feel like he was really good at lying, and it's like almost when he got backed into a corner, that's when he's like, okay, I'm caught, I'm not going to jail. Like, that's the type of covert narcissist he was. I'm not going to jail, I'm not doing this. I'd rather take myself out and take the secret with me, or take where she is with me. Because again, it's like a big F you to the family as well. Sorry, but that's the way it's coming across. So, I don't know. And I feel like, I wonder if he was like doing like the D's and drinking and stuff like that, and it made him a little bit, because I feel he's very like, I don't know, all over the place, but I feel like he's one of those people that's really easy to fool people, like he's really good at conning people. That's probably why the con man card came in. He's really good at conning people about who he is. But I feel like there's going to be more stuff that comes out of this trial, but she might not. I don't know if she knows exactly where Jen is, but she might know some pertinent information. And according to this, it's saying that the witness is not fully disclosing everything. Probably because she doesn't want to get in trouble for her part in it. Because who knows, maybe he called her for. That's kind of weird. I wonder if. Because the way the cards came in, the way I've always seen it, is just him. It was like something happening in the moment, but I think maybe she helped after the fact in some way, shape, or form, or she knew something and she didn't report it. But it's coming across like, I feel like maybe there was a phone call to her to come to where he was at, and I keep going back to the property he was working on, because I see, you know how like whenever people are working on properties at night and they have the lights on in there, like that's what I keep seeing. So I don't know if like they put her somewhere else for some, and then he went there and then he like called her and told her to come. So I just wonder if that really happened, because I keep seeing that. Like he calls the girlfriend and he's like kind of freaking out a little bit about what he did. They see him pacing back and forth with his hands like this. And there's lights on, so that makes me feel like it was dark. So maybe they did have a little bit of extra time. But it's almost like she calls him and she's like, or he calls her and he's, kind of telling her what happened. And I think she might have went there. Allegedly. I think she might have went there. Because I'm seeing that. Seeing her. I wonder if this place has like kind of a longer dirt driveway, because I keep seeing that. Or did at one time. Because I can see it how it was back then, not necessarily how it is now. And I don't know if he had already. I don't know. The frozen card kind of threw me because of that dream I had. Like, was she put in the freezer for a little bit? Or is there a freezer we don't know about somewhere? Because people are found years later in freezers. Weird, like that just happened with Harmony Montgomery, where they took that freezer, and that's one around when I had the dream. And then it came. There's another one. There was a lady stuck in a freezer they just found recently. I'm not saying she's in the freezer because I don't see that. I feel like I'm down in a hole, like in a concrete. Like I keep getting reminded of those movies, like where people like open the wall or open the floor and find a body like wrapped in plastic. That's what I keep getting. It's weird. I've never gotten that before. Never. Never in her readings. Which I'm noticing I'm getting a lot of stuff in the cards. I'm not getting in the readings, but it's good stuff and it's better stuff. I don't know. These cards seem pretty accurate. Alright. Well, I think that's all I got. I don't know. Hopefully that's helpful or whatever. I'm wanting to do this for days, but I've had a really long day. So, thanks guys for liking and subscribing and sharing and being here. I hope this made sense. Please don't kind of be like, this stuff's already out there. Oh. I try to stay away from stuff. Like I said, I think I saw the movie a year ago, but I did readings before that, but I fully don't know the situation. I don't know the situation with the female around it or anything like that. And I'm going to get factual information anyways. It's going to happen because if it happened, I'm going to pick it up sometimes. And if it's already out there, it's already out there. That's not my problem. I'll never tell anybody anything I don't see myself. If I'm shown it, I'll tell it. That's why I don't like to know things, because I don't want people thinking that I know things. I'm just saying them because I know them. So again, it's hard to get stuff on things that are already out, when there's a lot of stuff out. I haven't watched anything on her, other than that, what I said. And it's been like a year. Like, I don't remember. I think half the time when I watch things, I'm on my phone at the same time. Anyways, so I channeled a little bit with this one. I hope it was helpful. This is going to bug me now. I'm going to sit here and be like, man, I wonder if any of this is true. So, I don't know. We'll see. It's not anything I got in the readings, so it's a little throwing me off a little bit, but I can always pick up, like, where the car was, where evidence was, all of that in a reading, or other cases, because I did Autowrites. Remember, my Autowrites interconnect. So, description below, if you guys want to watch a video on how interconnects and Autowrites work, that's down below, for those that don't know and understand, for my Autowrites. So, and then the live reading was tough because I don't do live readings anymore, because I can pick up on you guys on the chat. So anyways, sorry for blabbing. I hope this was helpful. See you guys next time.